regardless of whether or not you're using AI, AI is using you. A couple of years ago, scientists in Montreal did an experiment on addiction by giving rats access to sugar water. Their study showed that rats spent the most time invested in tracking down that sugar water when access to it was random and intermittent. Now, I want you to think back to a time that you were scrolling on your phone for just a little too long. After scrolling through junk for an hour or more, boom. They hit you with a video that has 11 million likes. Why wouldn't they have put that up front? The best, most popular content first would make sense, right? It's because you're the rat. And this content, that's your sugar water. In 2006, Facebook launched the first of its kind AI-powered feed to organize the content that people were posting online. It wasn't long before the rest of the internet jumped on the bandwagon and launched their own infinite feeds that the public came to refer to as the algorithms. Screen time for these companies became their metric for success, so that they could maximize the number of ads they could show you in a day. They used the power of AI to get you addicted to your phone. We've invented digital cigarettes. And we've also invented miracle drugs. A pharmaceutical company in Hong Kong has just completed stage 2 trials of the first drug developed entirely by AI. Idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis is a terrible, deadly disease where your lungs scar up, and over time it becomes harder and harder to breathe. 30 to 40,000 people a year are diagnosed with IPF, and the prognosis is deadly, with the average person living only 3 to 5 years after being diagnosed. This new drug has the ability to limit symptoms and in some cases even potentially reverse them. It was developed in part thanks to an AI breakthrough in the protein folding problem, a challenge that human scientists have been working on since the 1960s. And overall, that's the kind of thing that AI used to be good for in the 2010s. It was used by experts to reach new heights in their field of expertise, to achieve breakthroughs that they never thought were possible. Like, the Facebook algorithm actually did surface content that was relevant to us when there was just way too much for a human to possibly sort through. We used to use AI to do things humans couldn't. But now, with the technological breakthrough that is large language models like ChatGPT and Claude, this new AI has gotten really good at doing things humans can and already do, only faster and cheaper. Which, weirdly enough, kind of means that this new wave of AI in the 20s and 30s looks a lot less like the AI of the 2010s and a lot more like the agricultural revolution of the 19th century. Let's turn back the clock to the year 1880. About half of America is working on farms. New inventions like the mechanical plow and electricity are showing up in the countryside, meaning farmers can make way more food than ever before, leaving nearly a generation of farmhands out of work, literally replaced by machines. By the year 1920, the average number of jobs in America is cut in half to nearly 1/4. Today, about 1/2 of America is working a professional services job. Can you see where I'm going with this? Take Cursor for an example. It's a new AI tool that helps developers write more code faster. And their CEO recently tweeted, Cursor is now generating nearly 1 billion lines of approved code a day. To put that in perspective, that's about 1/3 of all of the approved code generated by the entire world in a day. There's also companies encouraging employers to replace their staff with AI employees, making claims like, these AI employees are excited to work 70 hours a week, and they don't complain about annoying things like work-life balance. Now, this isn't a sky is falling talk that's saying AI is going to take all of our jobs. And there's plenty of TED Talks out there already about why automation hasn't replaced us fleshy workers yet. But the bad news in this case, and what's really uniquely insidious about this new wave of automation, is that this AI is really good at middle-skilled work. Meaning, it's not replacing the tedious manual labor that most humans don't want to do. It's going after semi-skilled and professional jobs. So if AI of the 2010s help experts reach new heights, and automation in the industrial and agricultural revolutions replace low-skilled manual labor, then this new wave of automation is going after the middle of our economic ladder, targeting entry-level positions, technical work, and honestly almost anything you can pay someone to sit at a computer and do. And this is already happening. Entry-level job openings are down by about 1/3 over the past 2 years. And it's because employers figured out real quick that it's a lot cheaper and easier to ask their staff to manage AI tools than junior employees. I know because I am one of those developers using Cursor to write code. And my business superset is building privacy compliance tools, automating work that would have been done by a junior associate before. So if this new technology is actively knocking out the middle rungs of our economic ladder, what do we do? When the top 10% of earners in the US account for over 50% of our nation's spending, where does that leave the rest of us? Where does that leave you? Well, like Churchill said, never let a good crisis go to waste. Number one, you're going to want to upskill yourself. You have to have your own back here. It doesn't matter if you're in that top 10% right now or not. If you ever work at a desk in front of a computer, you need to be looking at how AI is impacting, automating, and augmenting your field. And if you're not in that top 10%, even better. This is a fantastic opportunity to get your foot in the door. Number two, help those around you. I was fortunate enough to recently sit down with the White House Senior Policy Advisor on Artificial Intelligence. We discussed what the government can do to educate our workforce and to protect small businesses. You know what we did in America in response to the agricultural revolution in the 1800s? We made school mandatory for every child under the ripe old age of 16. Was it incredibly expensive? Yes. Was it also one of the best investments we ever made as a country? Absolutely. But it's not just the government's job. Upskilling programs can and should be the responsibilities of corporations and nonprofits as well. Number three, get entrepreneurial. As a founder, sometimes it feels like starting a business is signing up to wake up and just get punched in the face every day. But if you've got the fight for it, there has never been a better time. It has quite literally never been cheaper to start your own business. And with all these AI employees coming out, tech investors are literally betting on when the first single employee billion-dollar company will come along. We had studies back in 2012 showing AI-powered social media was as addictive as cigarettes and alcohol. It wasn't until last year that California and New York became the first states to regulate the AI feed, mandating that social media companies organize the feed chronologically by default for children under 18. Facebook came out in 2006, people. It's taken us 18 years to start to decide as a society how we want to respond to the last generation of AI. Now, I am grateful that we are finally doing something about this phone addiction problem, but we have got to move faster this time. Investing in education, workforce development, and innovation is a massive, urgent priority. I have built my entire career on the power of automation, and my advice to you is this: get involved at whatever level you can. If you just leave here today and go educate yourself, that is fantastic. If you've got the ability to start a training program at your place of work, even better. But if you have the influence to lift up your community and the people around you, I believe you have a moral responsibility to do so. Because we need to make sure we're the ones using AI to shape our world, not being shaped by it. Thank you.